What's going on, Pokemon fam? I hope you're all having a great one today. I hope you're all having a great Monday. I hope you all had a great weekend. So, in today's video, guys, I'm going to give you a video that has nothing to do with investing, has nothing to do with Pokemon. This is just going to be general how to build a five-figure TCG online business. Now, if you go to my previous videos, I think it's two videos, you can watch my video about how I made my first $10,000 in revenue in 2023. And you guys can go over, if you guys haven't watched it, if you guys are new to my channel, you guys can, probably just pause this one and just go over that video and just watch that one and just look at my numbers and my figures. And I just talk about my story and just give you guys just my own opinions of how I did it and everything. But this one is going to be more constructive, and this is going to be like more instructional base. I'm giving you guys pretty much literally the formula of how to build a five-figure TCG online business. Literally, I'm giving you an example of me. I'm giving you a goal for you, for your business. And then I'm going to give you guys kind of like my own goal going forward in the next 2 years. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and lower my screen really quick so you guys can see and look at my screen with me on my monitor. Okay. Let me make this a little bigger so you guys can see this. Here we go. All right. We are good. All right, guys. So you guys can see that, right? So this is not a podcast form. I definitely need you guys to pay attention to my screen. If you guys don't have time to look at your phone or your computer while you're listening to this, then I really urge you guys to just take the time to actually watch this. Very important stuff in here. So let me go ahead and get right into it, guys. So my title is How to Build a Five-Figure TCG Online Business Step by Step. So here we go, guys. I'm going to give you guys my example. Everything I did this past year and kind of just give you guys a model from my own example. Okay, so on the first one right here from my example is that I sold 784 orders and fulfilled 784 orders on eBay/TCG Player. Most of that is going to be on eBay listings because I post mostly of my good stuff on eBay, and then I post the bulk, all my bulk items that are less than like $1 or something like that, that are less than $1 on TCG Player. So I did the calculations for how I generate my $10,000, my first $10,000. And with how many orders I fulfilled, right? And then you take the average price per item is going to be right around $12.70. Times that by 784, that's going to equal $10,000 in revenue. So that right there, you just have to just basically look at that and be like, okay, I have to fulfill 784 orders that has the average price range of $12.70. And when I say average, I'm not saying that every single item has to be $12.70. That's just an average. There's going to be orders you're going to be fulfilling that's going to be like $1, $2, $3. There'll be some that are going to be like $50, $60, $70, $80, $100, right? But it just happens to just calculate at that price range, right? So that's just an average, okay? So that's kind of like what you kind of need to look forward to. You need to sell anything from 500 items, depending on how expensive it is, to 1,000 items if you're doing very high volume with your items, right? If your items are priced very, very low, you're probably gonna have to do over 1,000 orders in order to reach this $10,000 mark. But this is just my example, right? This is just literally what I'm giving you guys of my numbers. And so my current listings right now on eBay is 152 listings on eBay, which is really low for me right now. And then my TCG Player has over 1,905 listings right now. Like I said, I think I sold over 550 items on eBay. So at one point I had like, I want to say 700. I had 700 items listed for my all-time on my eBay, right? So obviously I want to increase my listings over time just for me to like 1,000 listings on my eBay store. That would be a lot. Especially how high demand TCG products are. It's going to be very difficult to get to 1,000 listings when people are just buying everything left and right. But that's my goal. That's my listing goal. There's no excuse. I'm gonna have to start like listing maybe like eventually I'm gonna have to start like listing like 40 items a day. I used to be able to do 20 a week on eBay just because I was very busy with my 9 to 5. But now that my eBay is snowballing and I want to, you know, obviously, you know, create more sales for myself, I have to be very diligent, and, you know, just suck it up and put, you know, and start, you know, putting up 20, 30, 40 listings a day. So that's just for me, but that's going to be different for you. Okay. So this is for mostly people that are like, that haven't reached their first 10,000 in revenue. So your goal, if you want to copy me for everything up here that's above, you want to copy me, you need to sell 784 items to generate $10,000. Your goal profit margin, this is very important. Your goal profit margin per item should be anywhere from 10 to 20%. Now, I know that sounds very small, but let me go ahead and explain why you need to look forward to these profit margins. If it's anything a little above that, that's awesome. The more profit, the better, right? But your average should be anywhere from 10% to 20%. Let me go ahead and explain. I know there's a lot of videos out there on social media, YouTube, and all this stuff, right? And people are going to kind of just shill you. When I say shill, they're going to sell you this hype thing of selling online, right? Let's say you want to do drop shipping. Let's say you want to do Amazon FBA. Let's say you want to do affiliate marketing and stuff like that. Every single market, every single business endeavor is going to have different profit margins. The lesser your overhead's going to be, the more profit margin you're going to able to capitalize at the end of the day. So that being said, when it comes to like drop shipping where you have no overhead, I'm just using drop shipping as an example. I've never done it before. I don't really care to do it, right? But I'm just giving you an example. I know how the model works. Basically, with drop shipping, you have no inventory. You have nothing to fulfill. All you're basically doing is you're flipping another person's item and you're selling another person's item, basically. And whatever you get from the leftover of that profit is yours, basically. That's how drop shipping kind of works. I kind of butchered it just a little bit. But then again, it's like, okay, I think the profit margin for that would probably like 30%, I would say. The less your overhead, the more profit margin, right? But in real life business, guys, like owning an LGS or owning a brick and mortar, guys, 10 to 20% is average for most successful businesses. That's why I put 10 to 20%, because if you're making 10 to 20%, right? Take 20% of $100,000, right? Let's say you do $100,000 in sales, you make 20 grand in profit. Let's just say. That's pretty good. Take $1 million. You made 20% profit. 200K. Are you going to be bitching about 200K if you're selling $1 million, if you're doing $1 million a year, right? No. So I need you to get in the mindset that 10 to 20% is a successful business model if it's repeatable, meaning if you can repeat the cycle, right? And if it's a high demand product, Pokemon is very high demand. Most TCG items like the big three, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and Pokemon, they're going to be very high demand, okay? And you're gonna have some overhead. You're gonna have your shipping. You're gonna have your fees. You're gonna have your supplies. That's going to be your pretty much your overall overhead, right? And your storage, right? I recommend storing in your home. Don't go get into storage, guys. It's a waste of money. You know, unless you have to scale, like for someone like me, maybe eventually I have to get a storage unit. I don't want to. I don't think so. I don't think I'll have to. Even if I do $1 million, not if, when, because that's my all-time goal. Once I do $1 million, right, I am confident that I'm able to store, you know, $500,000 worth of inventory in my own home. I'm confident I can do that, right? Try to lower your overhead as much as you can. I can make another video, different video about how to lower your overhead, but that's not the point of this video. So anyways, 10 to 20%, that should be your goal profit margin per item. If it's below that, if it's below 10%, it's probably not worth selling, okay? Just give you guys that, just that little point right there. Your goal should be listing 20 items per week. As a beginner, your goal should be listing 20 items per week. I know 20 items does not sound like a lot to list on eBay, but what tends to happen is that people's lives get in the way. You got your 9 to 5, let's say you have kids, your wife, your monthly expenses, just life in general, right? You're very busy, and you know, people can get behind on their listings. I know for a fact, for me, I've gone behind on my listings several times through this journey. I was still able to make 10 grand in revenue, right? But if you're consistent, you consistently list 20 items per week, you find the time to list 20 items per week. Listing 20 items per week, that's only like an hour out of your week. You spend 1 hour out of your week, right? Or you want to divide it by 20 minutes a day, right? To list like 5 items a day, right? If you want to split it that way, right? You just need 1 hour out of the week. If you cannot find 1 hour out of the week to list 20 items per week, then you have a problem, right? It's not going to work if you're not going to be consistent with your listings. Find consistency, because the more consistency that you have, the more sales you're going to get. The more eBay is going to push your store out there for people to see what you're selling, right? Because eBay is the one who is pushing our stuff, who's basically, you know, pushing our stuff to get people to buy our items, right? So I recommend 20 items per week on eBay. I recommend 50 items per week on TCG Player. TCG Player is very easy to list. It should take you like no more than 20 seconds to list one card. 20 seconds, you know, 20 seconds, right? So that's probably like what, 3 cards, 4 cards per minute, right? If it takes you longer than that, then you need to figure out how to be more efficient and be a lot faster, right? Be quick about it, right? List your items accurately. Know the condition of your cards. It's very, very important, guys, because the condition of your cards is going to determine the price of the cards. It's very important, because if you're listing something that's near mint, right? That's basically almost perfect. There's no scratches. There's no, you know, scuffing. There's no wear on the edges. There's nothing, right? If it's basically near mint, pack fresh, let's say, right? And you go to sell that card, and the person that receives the card, let's say, there's a couple scratches on the card and you list it as a near mint, you're going to get a lot of complaints. People are going to complain. People are going to demand that you give them a little bit of a refund. So list your items very accurately. If there's some scratches on the surface, list it as lightly played. If there's scuffing on the edges and there's scratches on the surface, then you need to list it as mostly moderately played, I would say. That's the next one, right? And then the next one to be mostly played, and then you have damage, right? So yeah, you need to accurately be honest with yourself when you get your cards. You need to grade your cards from your own perspective. Everything is not going to be near mint, okay? You know, unless it's, you know, pack fresh and it's in a binder, right? But most of your cards are going to be probably lightly played, depending, you know, how long you've had them and if they're scratched up, if you've held on to them, right? If it's bulk, keep that in mind. People are not going to, if you want to know the condition, and if the condition's not accurately described and they end up buying a little too much for what the condition of the card is actually worth, then you're going to get a lot of complaints, a lot of bad feedback. You don't want to do that. And then you want to become a top-rated seller on eBay, discounted fees. So the requirement to become a top-rated seller should be your goal, because it's like you get free, you know, not free, but you get discounts knocked off, or discounts. You get discounted fees pretty much off of eBay. You know, the original fee is like 15%, I would say, per item. And I think once you get to top rated seller, it goes from 15% fees to like 12.5 fees, 12.5%. So it's knocking off 2.5%. That may not sound like a lot, but over time, it makes up a lot. You're saving a lot of money. So your goal should be a top rated, you should become a top rated seller on eBay for discounted fees. I think the requirement is going to be $1,000 in revenue in 1 year, in 12-month period. It restarts every year if you don't accomplish that. So yeah, $1,000 in revenue in 1 year. That should be doable for everybody that's watching this. So sourcing, where are you going to find your cards? Let's say you don't have a distributor. Awesome, you don't need one. The thing I always emphasize and the thing I always preach to you guys all the time in my older videos is sell your own collection. Sell your collection. Get rid of it. Okay? Do not hold on to it any longer. If you're serious about a Pokemon business, sell your collection. Okay? You should always sell your collection. Even if you have the money to invest in more product, sell it. Sell it. Why are you hanging on to it? That's the thing that you have to understand as a psychological factor of being an online store. You cannot be attached to these cards. You cannot be attached to the steel product. At the end of the day, they're just price tags on these items. You have to detach yourself from the cards, from the steel product, and anything that is TCG related. You have to detach yourself and look at it just as a price tag, okay? I know that sounds pretty harsh, but if you don't have that mindset, you can't detach yourself from this, then selling Pokemon or selling any type of TCG is just not going to be for you, okay? So sell your collection, okay? You want to have a decent amount of startup cash, sell your collection. You want to get some sales in there, sell your collection. You want to get to this top rated seller. Once you reach top rated seller, it's pretty easy to maintain top rated seller, and you have discounted fees, which I think everyone should strive for. Okay, so sell your collection, guys. Do not be attached to it. Get rid of it. If you are attached to it, then this is going to be a problem. This may not be for you if you are attached to your collection. Start looking for LGSs. I know in a couple of videos, my previous videos, I say that LGSs, don't buy from an LGS because they're going to have it, you know, marked up at a higher price than market price most of the time. But you never know. You may come across an LGS that is liquidating, okay? That is liquidating, and they're going to need to pay their bills. You got to look at the perspective of these LGSs. A lot of them, believe it or not, a lot of LGSs are not successful because they don't have enough exposure. There's not enough people that are coming into their store and buying stuff off of them, right? So, but you have to be respectful. You have to go in there and ask, hey, I want to buy in bulk. Because you just can't walk in there and be like, yeah, I want Brilliant Stars. You know, I see that you have it for 160 bucks. Can you give it to me for 100 bucks? You cannot do that. That is completely disrespectful. They'll throw you out. What you should do is when you walk into an LGS, and if you got to kind of inspect the LGS. If it's an LGS where it's busy, there's a lot of people walking in there, and there's people like buying stuff left and right. They don't care. They're not going to want your money, right? Or not your money, but they're not going to negotiate with you for a discount because they're already getting the sales. They know if they're very successful, they know that over time they're going to sell all their stuff over time relatively quickly, right? Now, there's an LGS, you walk to an LGS and it's empty, the shelves are empty, right? If it's empty and it's kind of dead, not that many people in there, right? Walk in there and be like, hey, I want to buy a case of Brilliant Stars. Do you guys have a sealed case for Brilliant Stars? Then you can negotiate a little bit. They'll be in the position to negotiate. Trust me, I've actually done this, I think, a couple times, where I've walked into 2 different LGSs during this time, and the guy was willing to give me a very good discount on, I forgot what set it was. Was it, it might have been Silver Tempest. I think it was Silver Tempest. He was willing to give me a discount. He was willing to sell me a whole case at the time when Silver Tempest was like 120 a box. At the time, he was willing to give me the whole case, which comes with 6 booster boxes at the time. I didn't take it because I didn't have the money at the time. This is like right in the beginning when I was still discovering how to find product. But he was willing to give me a case for 105 per box. That's $15 off each box. That literally almost saves you $100 for the whole entire case. That's really good, right? Even if you don't sell that case right away, that's a great time to hold on to that case, and it's going to appreciate, you know, at some point, right? Before reprints. You got to be, you know, mindful of reprints, right? But that was still a great deal. I didn't take the deal because I just didn't have the money, right? So you have to just kind of scope your area and know your area, like which LGS is willing to give me a discount. If it's a busy one, they don't care. They're not going to negotiate with you. If it's an LGS that has crickets, you see that's just, you can just tell it's not performing well, and then ask them what they have and then negotiate. That's a tactic that you guys can utilize. That's a skill where you're actually in person and you want to buy in bulk. These guys need to pay their bills. They're willing to negotiate with you at that point. Take advantage of that, all right? Next one, Walmart and Target routes. Come up with a Walmart Target route for yourself. Walmart and Target, believe it or not, guys, there's always going to be some items. There's going to be like low-key items that are on clearance, guys. Literally, do not underestimate this, guys. Find like 5 Targets, find 5 Walmarts, do a whole route for one day if you're off of work one day. Do a full route. Go to these places and just find product that is on clearance. I'm telling you right now, this is so underrated. There are going to be items that are on clearance. Okay, you can go to Sam's Club, you can try Costco. There might be some things in there that may be for clearance. I'm not sure. I don't go to those stores, but I know for a fact I've seen it in Walmarts. I've seen it in Targets where this stuff is on clearance. Okay, you just have to go very consistently. You can't just go like one Walmart and see that everything is at retail price and be like, okay, well, I can't get this because there's one Walmart out of my entire region where they're selling this at retail price, therefore I give up. You can't do that. You got to create route for yourself. That's how I first started my first 3 months, guys. I literally went to Walmart and Targets 4 times a week, multiple Walmarts and Targets. I found so much product that was on clearance. So underrated. I really recommend you guys do. I know it's a lot of gas. It could be a lot of gas. But you got to find ways if you really want to do this. You got to find ways to be successful. So I recommend doing Walmart, Target routes, okay? You can always do eBay auctions. That's a very underrated thing. eBay auctions, there's people that are always liquidating on eBay. You can try getting in there on some of those auctions and try to buy, whether it's a single or if people are getting rid of bulks. You know, this is very low key because most people don't, I don't think people really know this is a thing, but go on eBay, guys. Go under the auctions and find auctions that are very, very underpriced for a lot of the stuff they're getting rid of, right? The only thing that sucks about eBay auctions is that you're going against other people that are bidding, right? It could be a little bit of a hassle, but you can definitely find some product where you can definitely win some auctions, whether they're single cards or they're big bulks. Go on eBay auctions because I've definitely won some auctions, and I definitely still have a little bit of the bulk of some of the things that I won off of some of those auctions, okay? So eBay auctions, very underrated. Look into that. You can find some decent things on eBay auctions. Last one, TCG Player Seal product. Guys, there's a huge opportunity right now, right in front of your faces. You guys can go on TCG Player. You guys can buy Scarlet and Violet booster boxes at $98 per box, not including tax or shipping. Shipping's for free on TCG Player for most sellers that are selling this, right? But you just gotta pay your tax. Tax is gonna be anything from like $105 a box to maybe $110 a box at most. Buy it, guys. Hold on to it. There you go. Go on TCG Player. Buy it right now because it's gonna go back in price. It's gonna go back up in price eventually. Maybe not now. Maybe not 6 months from now. But maybe next year. You never know. But it's heavily discounted because you'd rather buy it now for $105, $110 than buying it at $160 a box, right? Go on TCG Player, guys. Seal product is really cheap right now for these new Scarlet and Violet sets. So, and then you can hold on to them. And just a little bit about my goal. My goal for the next 2 years is going to be to make 100 grand in revenue by sometime in 2025. Basically, from everything I know, my very first year, I can say with this eBay, well, not eBay, but my TCG store, is that my first year was basically obtaining the knowledge. I have obtained the knowledge. I have literally studied this for hours and hours and days, guys. And now that I have the knowledge, I have to 10x that knowledge. Okay, so 10x my example to reach this goal. So that basically means that I have to 10x this right here. That means I have to 10x my 784 orders that I fulfilled. Okay, because if you 10x that, that's going to be 7,840 orders. That's going to lead me to $100,000 in revenue. I had to 10x this right here to reach $100,000. If this remains 12.7, right? So that's going to be my goal, guys, for the next 2 years. I know that sounds far-fetched, right? But I just believe in myself, guys. I'm not trying to sound cocky or arrogant, but I truly believe in myself. I believe that I can reach 100 grand in revenue by 2025, sometime in 2025. So I gotta just do that. I have to just implement my own strategies and the things I've learned in my own knowledge and learn and continue to learn. I'm still learning new things, guys. I'm still learning new things. And so you gotta be diligent, guys. Be very diligent. If you haven't made your first $1,000 yet, it's very possible, right? If you already made your first 1,000, now your next goal is from 1,000 to 10,000. Just keep being diligent, guys. Right now, my goal is from 10,000 to 100,000, right? So that's my next goal. And it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very hard. I expect this to be not easy, but it's doable. So anyways, guys, I hope I'm continuing to motivate you guys. This is a very long segment video. Thank you for staying on this long. If you have made it this far to the video, I'm going to go ahead and end it now, guys. If you guys have any questions and comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I can make videos about your guys' questions because I'm here to serve you guys. I'm here to make you guys more successful. Okay, you guys can learn from my mistakes. My mistakes, your benefit, right? My example, your benefit. That's all it comes down to, guys. So continue to push hard. Continue to sell. Do not give up. Find ways to be successful, guys. And please, 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 when you are on YouTube, ignore all the FOMO bullshit of these things that basically tell you of how to make $10,000 per month, do affiliate marketing, drop shipping, Amazon FBA, blah, 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 blah. I'm telling you guys right now, do not fall into that FOMO trap. It's a trap. It's a way for these people to sell you their courses who have never made $10,000 in a month. It's stupid. Do not ever, ever, ever have that FOMO. That is not real life. It can happen to a few people, guys. Few people. Okay? But a lot of these YouTube channels that come up with this FOMO stuff, you gotta ignore it, guys, because that's not real life. This right here that I just gave you guys, this is real life right here, okay? If you guys don't want to do this, if you guys want to just get rich quick, then this is not for you, right? Find something different. If you guys find a get rich scheme that will make me $100,000 a month, just let me know. Then I'll jump on the train with you guys, right? But this is real life stuff. It takes time to build things from the ground up, okay? So, I hope I inspired you guys. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Have a good rest of your Monday, guys. And, yep, continue selling on, guys. See you guys in the next one.